Hello guys, this is CA Vishal, Jain faculty for ACCA and SBR paper. So guys, many students were asking me, sir, can you please give us the important questions of ACCA financial reporting that we should definitely practice and we cannot miss on those questions. At least a bare minimum, these questions has to be practiced. So what I have done is I have identified few important and tricky with complex adjustment questions of section A, B and C all three, right? So now for section A and B, I have identified roughly around 45 questions. Okay, and for section C, I have identified roughly around 20 questions. So these 65 questions I believe are super duper important and you cannot miss on these questions. Now, what I have done is for section A and B question, if I have to say particularly, I analyzed last 10 attempts examiner report. Okay, and I believe you guys know in every examiner report, ACCA gives important questions, right? In every examiner report, ACCA gives tricky questions which they have asked in the relevant exam paper, the past exams. So from the analysis of last 10 attempts examiner report, I identified roughly 30 questions, 30 important questions, which I have already discussed with you. You want to see where? Please see here. Can you see super 30 questions? Can you see the super 30 questions? So these super 30 questions are from section A and section B both, but they have been brought from the examiner reports. So you are required to watch this video and solve each and every question which we have solved in this video. Okay, I will give you the link of the video in the description box. Now the next is, can you see the next one? Groups top 15 important questions and group P&L, right? So from the group accounting chapter, I specifically identified top 15 questions. These questions has been identified by me specifically. It can be from Kaplan, it can be from BPP, it can be from Study Hub. Okay, it can be from anywhere. They are from the examples or the illustrations also, but they are complex adjustments or the tricky questions which if you will see for the very first time in the exam you might not be able to solve it off. Okay, so I have identified these 45 questions, 30 plus 10, so 15, 30 plus 15, 45 questions, and I believe you should definitely practice these 45 questions. Okay, now the link of both of these videos I will give in the description box. Okay, so I will write here for section A and B, super 30 questions plus top 15 group accounting questions. So these 45 questions you must solve. Must. It's a mandatory thing to solve. You cannot miss on these. You cannot miss out on these. Okay. Now, coming to section C, so I have got the complete list of section C questions also, which I'll be giving it to you. So now you guys know in section C, we have three type of questions that can be asked in the exam. It can be single entity, it can be group accounting, it can be interpretation. Now I have the list of questions from each one of them. From single entity, we have a MIMS company, okay, which is from a P and L point of view. Then we have Haverford. Okay, it is from an SOFP point of view, and then we have print company. Guys, I believe you know that in a single entity the questions can be asked in two formats. Either they will ask you to prepare P and L, or they will ask you to prepare statement of adjusted profits. SOFP is, in general, is common for all the questions. SOFP we have to prepare in all the questions, but from a performance point of view, either they will ask you to prepare P and L, or they will ask you to prepare statement of adjusted profits. Now, so if you see this question, they will ask you to prepare P and L. Now, in Haverford company, they will ask you to prepare statement of adjusted profits. Okay, so I recommend all of you to solve at least these three questions for single entity, and they have really good adjustments. At least in Haverford company, they have got really good adjustments. So I recommend all of you to solve at least these three questions for single entity. Now, if I come to group accounting, now in group accounting, there are two type of questions that can be asked. One is from a group SOFP and one is from group P&L point of view. And if I have to give my understanding, my interpretation, my opinion, Group P&L is frequently asked, so never leave group P&L. Now from a group P&L point of view, I strongly recommend you to solve Pandar company. There is one adjustment of intra-group loans, the finance cost and the finance income, which is quite very important one. And if you don't see it, you will totally not be able to solve it in the exam. Okay, Pandar company, then similarly Paradigm company. Then one more is a gold company. From a group SOFP point of view, you can solve Dargent company. Amazing question. Amazing question. There is one adjustment of unrealized profit, that also on goods in transit, which is a very important question. Very important. Dargent company. Okay. Now, and Macquarie company, which is from disposal. Okay, subsidiary disposal point of view, a very important again Macquarie company. You will find this question in BPP. Okay, you will find this question in BPP only. Now comes to the interpretation. Now in interpretation, guys, I believe you are aware that there are 5 type of questions that can be asked in the exam. One is year on year analysis. Year on year analysis. For that, I will recommend you to solve Mover company. Okay. Now the next one is comparison of two companies. For that, I will recommend you to solve a pastry company. Now third type is comparison with the sector averages. So you have to comment that whether the sector performed well or the sector didn't perform, whether the company performed well or not in comparison to the sector, whether the company performed well or not in comparison to the sector. So your conclusion should be the entity has outperformed the sector or the entity has underperformed the sector. Okay. Now for the sector, you must solve Bun company. Amazing question again. Bun company. Now from here, the from group point of view also, questions do come up whether we have acquired a subsidiary during the year or we have disposed a subsidiary during the year. Was the acquisition or disposal a good decision or a bad decision, right? So from that point of view, you must solve Grigori company. You must solve Perkins. You must solve Perlo. These 3 questions are mandatory to solve. Now, there is a question of analysis from a cash flow point of view. From a cash flow point of view, there is an analysis question called as Costner company, though it is not tested in the exam, but it can be tested anytime soon. Okay. So you cannot leave these questions. How many questions? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15, right? So 15 questions here and 45 questions here. So 15 plus 45, total 60 questions, and I strongly recommend these 60 questions. You cannot miss even a single question on these. Okay, still there is time left for the exams. I believe you can definitely solve these 60 questions. Do not miss out on these. Questions. Okay, these are my personal recommendation questions, so which you have to solve for the exam. Additionally, guys, as I have already announced and I'm announcing it again, we will be conducting a marathon of the entire FR syllabus, which will be held on 30th of August. Okay, 30th of August. The timings I will be announcing in a separate video. But if you guys are interested to join the marathon, do comment FR. Do comment FR marathon. Okay, on the basis of the number of interests. Though we have received a lot of interest in the previous videos. So on the basis of the interest, we'll be deciding whether or not to conduct the FR marathon. Okay, so do let me know in the comment box. And if you need anything else from an FR point of view, do let me know in the comment box. Thank you guys. Bye bye.